Okay, today we will be reading something a little familiar here on Unique Devotions. That is the parable of the Good Samaritan. This is Luke chapter 10, verses 25 through 37. And behold, a certain lawyer stood up and tested him, saying, Teacher, what shall I do to inherit life, eternal life? He said to him, What is written in the law? What is your reading of it? So he answered and said, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. You have answered rightly. Do this, and you will live. But he, wanting to justify himself, said to Jesus, And who is my neighbor? Then Jesus answered him and said, A certain man went down from Jerusalem to Jericho fell among thieves, who stripped him of his clothing, wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. Now by chance a certain priest came down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Likewise a Levite, when he arrived at the place, came and looked and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion. So he went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine, and set him on his own animal, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. On the next day, when he departed, he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said to him, Take care of him, and whatever more you spend when I come again, I will repay you. So which of these 3 do you think was neighbor to him who fell among the thieves? He said, He who showed mercy on him. Then Jesus said to him, Go, and do likewise. So I encourage you greatly to not just pick out the normal that we've been spoon-fed, and is correct, of the story of the Good Samaritan. I'm not even going to repeat that too much. But what I am going to do is tell you to look and hear for yourself, because there's a couple of other things that could pop out. Something to give you some new growth, a new thought to maybe look at. And you may have to read it once or twice again, or listen to the video once or twice, but maybe just read it so that you can stop and pause and think, especially just throughout the day. It doesn't even have to be back to back. So, Jesus says, Go and do what is written in the law, and you will live if it is done perfectly. Well, we know the problem with the law is you can't do it perfectly. That's why he's here. That's why he had to die on the cross, to fulfill the law, so that we don't have to live by the law. We just work on completing the law as a show of our affection towards God. The next thought was, the Samaritan man gave of his time, his money, and things to help. Jesus gave the ultimate mercy for us when he gave everything and his life for us. Are you living the command and showing mercy to those in your everyday life? I also encourage you, there's a lot of homework here, I also encourage you to look up the word mercy. Mercy is just a little bit different than forgiveness. You may even have to look up the word forgiveness and weigh the two. I encourage you to do it because I know for me, listening to others, I never quite got it. But when I took the time to look up forgiveness and mercy and could see the two side by side, then the next time I actually heard someone preach on it, on mercy or on forgiveness, I could see the difference, and it made more sense and it became richer and hit me a little deeper as to forgiveness is when people necessarily do something wrong to you or improper, but mercy being something just a little bit different. So I'm going to stop there. I'm not going to give a definition. Um, so I encourage you to look up those two things, mercy and forgiveness, on your own. And also, the second homework, if you will, is to look back through the Good Samaritan story and see if there's something else that you hadn't gotten out of that, something else that different from what you've been getting for the last however many years you've been on the face of this planet reading the scriptures. So on that note, leave comments below. They give us all perspective, and I hope that God gives you all the blessings you deserve today, and even more so, all the blessings that you do not deserve. Until next time, have a wonderful day.